Hey guys, it's Hannah with an Essential Rewards unboxing. The May promos are all about personal development and, emotions, supporting your emotions. So this was another try new things / stock up for me because I'll be moving soon, so I just grabbed some more of these things. I wanted, just go ahead and say, Valor is in the promos, and I think we all know that I love Valor, so had to go there. Some of these things are actually from the spring launch, so I have a few spring launch things. I didn't do a spring launch order. I almost did, and almost bought the whole bundle, but then by the time I had decided that it was a good enough deal that I wanted it, it was out of stock. It is back in stock now. Everything from spring launch is in stock, but I'm over it now. Some of the things were outrageously expensive, and it's because they're very difficult to source, on top of that they're brand new, so I just wasn't going there. Some of them are exclusive to spring launch, so they won't be restocked again after this, now that everyone's kind of had plenty of opportunity to get them if they wanted them, so they won't be restocked probably for the most part after this, but if enough people complain, they'll bring them back. So if they're really awesome, I'll get the chance eventually. So as far as stocking up goes, essential oil sampler bottles. So they're small like this. These are what I use to give people samples in person. These are kind of difficult. They're not difficult to mail, but it costs more to mail because your envelope is not flat. If you want an essential oil sample and you need me to mail it to you, I have some little Mylar bags for that, and I'll just put them on a cotton round. If you're gonna put them on the diffuser or whatever, I can put them in there without one, but they're more likely to leak if I don't. That just gives it somewhere to absorb, and you can pull it out and smell it or whatever instead of having liquid all over the place. But so through the mail, I use the little Mylar bags, and I have a heat sealer. So that's how I do that. But if someone I'm going to be seeing in person, or I can drop it off on their porch, they live really close to where I work or live, then I use these little guys. These are 2 milliliter little bottles, and they have drop reducers and everything. So I do use those from Young Living, even though they're probably cheaper to get somewhere else. Also Restocks dish soap. I did just buy one of these. I had never used it before, but it smells really good. It says fresh citrus scent, but it has thieves in it, so it kind of smells thievesy too. But so other than thieves, it has bergamot, jade lemon. Okay, that's all. The rest of these are thieves oils. So rosemary, cinnamon bark, clove, jade lemon, bergamot, and lemon essential oils. So this isn't going to lather as much as your typical dish soap. If you have an issue with that, dump half or 2/3 of this into a mason jar, and you can get some plain Castile soap. You can get it at Target or Amazon or wherever, and you could do 1/3 of this, 1/3 of Castile soap, and 1/3 of water, or if you want to do half of this, 1/4 of Castile soap and 1/4 water. That'll make it more sudsy and lathery like what you're used to, but bubbles don't mean clean. Bubbles are just bubbles. The lack of bubbles does not mean that there's not soap. This is soap. So, that's something that we kind of feel like, at least in America, that bubbles mean clean or mean soap or whatever, and that's just really not true. So, yeah. Thieves household cleaner. So I have never had to repurchase one of these, but mine is getting kind of low, and so I will need more of that when I move. Thieves Chest Rub. So I have one of these. It goes in and out of stock, but the pollen here is awful right now. And so I have been using just a tiny bit. You don't need a lot, like a tiny bit just across my chest before bed, or even in the morning if I'm like, oh, gross and kind of snotty. I did get allergy tested the other week, but I didn't do environmental allergens because I was more concerned about food. And then I tested positive for almonds. But what she said, the allergist said, that sometimes tree pollens trigger as almond allergies. I don't know if anyone else has heard that, but she said usually it's like birch trees, but because we didn't do environmental allergens, she can't rule out that it is an actual almond allergy. I do eat almonds sometimes. I've eaten, you know, a couple of handfuls since going to the allergist. Nothing weird happened. But that also, it also goes to say that if I were to completely stop eating them for a period of time, say 6, 8, 9 months, and then I tried to eat them again, I could potentially have a very bad reaction for that. So right now, my body is acclimated to almonds, whether I'm allergic or not. And if I were to stop eating them and that went out of my system and then tried to eat them, I could potentially have a very bad reaction. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. If something weird happens, I'll stop eating them. But until then, I'm going to assume that it is a tree pollen allergy, not an almond allergy. And, you know, if something happens, I'll stop eating them. But what's the point? This is a spring launch item. This is the Fresh Space bundle. So this is, I'll just open it and show you. So this probably kind of looks funny. So it's a 15 milliliter bottle of purification and a 15 milliliter of lemon. This little sticky guy goes in your refrigerator. And these, what are these balls made out of? I don't know. Deodorizer balls. So I have to look up a little bit more of what to do with them. There's a backup one, so I guess I don't really know what you do with them after you have used it up. Like, do you wash it? Not sure. But you could put a couple drops of oil on here if you want to. My understanding is you don't have to, but it's going to pull out all your funky smells from your refrigerator instead of, you know, you keeping a box of baking soda in there, which, you know, is the generally accepted way to keep funky smells out of your refrigerator. But then how many times have you knocked it over and spilled it or whatever? Or forgotten it is there and it's in the way back of your fridge and it's just gotten squished back there and then you haven't changed it and you notice a weird smell and you're like, it's weird. But so this sticks, so you can't, it's not going to get pushed around like a box of baking soda would. Another spring launch item, Canadian Fleabane. So I actually was looking for this oil last year when I was having all my lady problems because this oil was mentioned in a recipe in one of the books I was reading. And so you can't get it as a single from any essential oil companies that I'm aware of currently. Right now, Young Living does have this. It is exclusive to Spring Launch, so if I didn't buy it now, I wasn't going to be able to get it. But it's in blends from different companies, so all of the Young Living blends that contained it were out of stock at the time. So actually what I did is I used a different recipe. But I did look at the doTERRA blends to see if any of them had this, and it must have been a sourcing issue with Canadian Fleabane because they didn't have anything in stock either. So, I don't know. Weird. And then I also got 15 milliliter Palmarosa to hit my PV mark, along with these two cute little collections. I'll open them up and show you. So these are a little bit smaller than I thought, but they're super cute. They have a couple oils in them. They're good for traveling. So this is the Wish You Well collection. It's blue. It has these little cute gold foil things. These are great for gifting. There are several of these available. These are just the 3 that I liked the best. So they have your oils in this side. So that's a Digest, Vitality, RC, and Thieves. So if you're sick, this is like really good for you. Or traveling and you get motion sick or whatever. This is an Aroma Ease Aroma Ring. So you can put this on your ear, on your nose. I don't think it's big enough to fit on your finger. It says nose, ear, or near face. So I guess you could just hold it if you don't want to attach it to your body. But it's just like a clear thing. A lot of people just wear them right here, like a nose ring. And then there's a little booklet that kind of explains these oils, suggested uses, you know, what's in them. And then on the back tells you about the aroma ring. So it's like a personal little aromatherapy buddy. I did see someone online said, do not throw out your aroma rings. Get a little glass container and put your old aroma rings in there. Obviously you would want to label them as yours or your husband's or your child's or whatever, because you don't want to share them necessarily. And put like 1 or 2 drops of oil in there with it, and it will like reabsorb those oils and you can reuse it. But make sure that, you know, whatever oil you're using is properly diluted, because you don't want to do anything weird. Mind Over Matter collection. So this one fits a little funky in the container. It says get your head in the game. And this one, I'll tell you exactly why I wanted this one. There was another one, I was going back and forth between this one and another one, for the same reason. They have one of the overlapping oils. So here's the 3 oils. So it's peppermint, M-grain, and deep relief. You cannot buy deep relief as an oil by itself. Like, you can't buy this bottle by itself. You can buy it in a roller. You can buy it in a couple of these collections. You can buy it in the Active and Fit kit. That's kind of more targeted towards men, but you can buy it in there. But otherwise, you can't just purchase this bottle by itself. You just can't. And then this is a Reflexology Ring. I'll pull it up really close so it has all those little bumpies, and I don't really know exactly how it works. I haven't read up enough on it. It looks like there might be some information inside of here. Let's see. Let's just take it out. It's mine anyways. Oh yes, balance and harmony at your fingertips. So slide the ring onto desired finger and roll up and down from top to bottom. So it tells you which fingers are for what problem. So your left hand. So your thyroid and pituitary gland would be your thumb. This looks like this area are your eyes and ears. This is your neck, and then your middle finger is your head, brain, and sinuses. So there's a little bit of information on how to use this. There's probably better information somewhere else. I really wanted the deep relief, and so I went back and forth between this set and another one. So the Reflexology Ring was not even necessarily a deciding factor. I do use M-grain from time to time because I do have migraines, and I use peppermint a lot. So, you know, it made sense for me to get this one. I'll probably buy the other one that has deep relief at some point, because I do think these are so cute. They're so giftable. Even if you were to switch out the oils inside, like they do say mind over matter, but all you have to do is take the sleeve off. Nobody's going to know what's supposed to come in here unless they have a Young Living account. And even if they do, they probably don't care. So you could slip some other little goodie in there instead of the Reflexology Ring. Take out that little booklet, you don't need that, and then slip in 3 oils for whatever. It could be like a baby shower. You could do like Gentle Baby, Seedlings Calm, and Peace and Calming would be really cute. Something like that, and just, you know, personalize it. I'm going to talk about the promos, and then I'm going to talk about something else that was in my box that I didn't order. So at 190 PV, hope I'm getting this right. Well, 100 PV, free shipping. 190 PV, all orders, 5 milliliter of acceptance, 5 milliliter of Envision for Essential Rewards orders. Pretty confident on that. 250 PV Valor, because that's what I needed, was a little bit more Valor because I live on that stuff. At 300 PV, I think it was a 5 milliliter of Highest Potential, which is a very expensive oil. It runs about $100 a bottle for a 5 milliliter. And then at 400 PV, a 5 milliliter Motivation. Also a fairly expensive oil, but I wasn't going there because I don't need those. I have plenty of oils on hand. You know, I wouldn't have necessarily purchased all of these things this month if it wasn't for the Valor being in the promos. But I did want some of these spring launch things. I did want to grab some of these bundles because they've gone out of stock a couple times. They launched last year and I haven't purchased any of them until now. So I was wanting some of those. I was wanting some more of this because it keeps going out of stock. And then, I mean, honestly, I added the Palmarosa to meet the PV that I was looking for. So I'm not going to then order, you know, if I'm almost at 250, that's what I want to hit the most. I'm not going to order 200 or like $150 more worth of product to get 2 more free oils, even if they're very expensive, because I already have them. They are oils I use a whole lot. They are really good for personal development and, you know, emotions and stuff, but they're not oils that I use enough that I would go out of my way to spend more. So then I would be buying things that, yes, I would use, but I don't need right now. So just don't need to do that. And that's a PSA for everyone when they're trying to decide how much to spend. Know which things you need right now. Know which things you're stocking up on for later. If there's still, you know, some flexibility, like if you're stocking up on things for later, you don't have to buy those this month. If you don't like the promos or the gifts with purchase, whatever we're calling them now, don't add that to your order if you don't have to have it right now. Because maybe next month they have some really awesome promos and you want to hit all of them. That's why I need Thieves Chest Rub, because I'm coughing because of all the pollen and the snot. But so that's my rule of thumb. Do not spend more than you need to. When I hit a promo, I'm telling you, if it is a 250 PV promo, I hit 250 PV. Palmarosa is an oil that I don't currently have a backup of, so that's why I chose that one. It was exactly the right price. It's not that I don't go $1 or $2 above, but I could have made up that dollar amount with 2 less expensive oils. I do citrus oils a lot because they're very inexpensive, and I use them a lot, so I do that a lot. If you see me purchasing citrus oils several months in a row, it's not that I necessarily need more. I'm hitting a promo. I do need more, but probably just hitting a promo. I found a goodie in my box that I didn't pay for, which happens sometimes. Sometimes they're like, okay, the next 5 people, I'm throwing an oil in their their box. It happens all the time. Always check your paperwork that comes in your package to make sure that you didn't pay for something you didn't want and that this is not someone else's order. Sometimes I push mine through and then it comes and I do not remember what I added to my box. So you always want to check it, because someone has gotten my package before and they called. So my name, member number, whatever, were on the packing sheet. So they knew it wasn't their order. They knew they hadn't ordered anything actually. So they just got a surprise. But so they called member services and said, I have Hannah Davidson's order. This is her member number, blah, blah, blah. What am I supposed to do with this? And they said, oh, keep it, we'll replace it. Make sure that you tell us what's in the box. They go through what's in the box, and then they called me. And they said, okay, your package with blah 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 was just delivered to the wrong person. Can you confirm that these are your items, your member number, your address for us, and we will get you a new package. That's what they did. They took care of it. But so sometimes you will end up with an extra bottle of oil, an extra chapstick, an extra whatever, and if it's one thing, that's usually just they were being nice to you. This is a 15 milliliter of Emu Power. Maybe they thought I was sick because I ordered all this Thieves stuff, and the Wish You Well collection, and the Mind Over Matter collection. Maybe they're like, oh, she got some Thieves Chest Rub and some cleaner and all these feel-good oils, and she's sick, so we can give her some Emu Power. I do have a bottle of this. I don't use it very often unless I am sick or I think I'm getting sick. I'll run it in the diffuser. It's a blend of hyssop, mountain savory, cistus, camphor, frankincense, oregano, clove, cumin, and Dorado Azul essential oils. So it's a good oil, but I didn't order it, so it's very kind of them to send me something extra that I didn't pay for. It does make you feel good sometimes when you get something like that in your body, like a little surprise. Even though this isn't something that I use a lot, it is kind to get something a little extra, especially because like I do order every month, so it is kind, and I do very much appreciate it. And you know, if something is messed up, if something would have been missing and I had this instead, I would call them and say, hey, I'm missing my blah blah blah, but I got Emu Power. Like, was someone confused at the warehouse, like, what do I need to do? And they would say, keep your Emu Power, we'll send you your blah blah blah. That's what they do. I've called them before. It costs more for them to pay for return shipping, and you know, it's easier for them just to ship you what you're missing out on than for things to go back and forth. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. So tell me what you guys are ordering. I'm giving out free 15 milliliters to the next 3 people. I put this on Instagram the other day. The next 3 people that purchase kits. So this month for Mother's Day, there are basic starter kits for $25 instead of $35. You're saving $10. There are some diffusers that have been discounted. But so if you're going to join with a basic starter kit, you do need to spend at least 50 PV to get your 15 milliliter, because a basic starter kit is 0 PV. So you'll get lots of samples there if you want to do that. And then, you know, the next 3 people between now and May 31st will get 15 milliliters from my stash. So might be a citrus oil, might be this Emu Power, might be this Palmarosa, might be some cedarwood, might be some, you know, what else comes in a 15 milliliter? Lang Lang, might be some. I'm not going to send you a 15 milliliter Valor, forget that. I do have some, but you can't have it. I do not share that. But yeah, 3 people are getting 15 milliliters of oil, especially since, you know, I had announced it before I got this free bottle of oil, but how fitting to get a free 15 milliliter when I announced that I was giving away 3 free 15 milliliters. So pish posh, tell me what you got, tell me what you need. If I can help you with something, I'll do my best. It's the end of the school year, it's the beginning of the summer. My brain is fried, your brain's probably fried. All the kids around us brains are fried. We're ready for the very hot weather that has already hit South Carolina, you guys. I don't know how it is where you're at, but it's hot here. It was over 80 degrees today, but whatever. 80 degrees, 80 degrees. We'll get through the hot stuff for real later, but I'll see you guys later. Bye.